And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Star Chronicles Dallas Cowboy Football Podcast, and we're all here celebrating in a barn burner of a victory. Dallas Cowboys over the Raiders, Raiders. Tomato, tomato. You say Nintendo, I say potato. Same damn thing. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into it with Ron, aka the Starstruck Fan. What do you think about them Cowboys this week?
Yeah, I thought they did pretty good. I mean, there was just a lot of good action. I thought, as in comparison to the previous week. So I don't know if we're going to do a breakdown of performances of how, but yeah, I thought it was you know we yeah, we didn't really have much faith in Trey Lance. I mean, just for me to just straight up and come out with it. And this was the first time. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, he immediately he's opposing now a threat to Dak. That would be irresponsible and not very intelligent of me to think that in one preseason game that he's vaulted himself up there. But what I felt he
I
did
bet you,
is
I bet you
that
there's some. I bet you some people in Cowboy Nation
yeah.
has. But
But
anyways,
if anything, I say he got one step closer to Cooper Rush is anything. So that's why I would just want to kind of leave it at that. Is I based off what I saw in his performance, he got one step closer to Cooper Rush.
okay, fair enough, fair enough. He's one step closer. Do I need to start planning out my Super Bowl parade plans, Kyle?
Yes, of course. We found our future. Yes. I mean, I would book it. Book it. We've got the future. He's the future quarterback. He's going to take the league by storm in his fifth year. Yeah.
So,
100%.
so
No,
if
I
he
mean,
has
yeah,
or
he passed for a third string quarterback. He played better than last week. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm not going to get my hopes up. The guy threw 23 passes for 150 yards. I mean, still his average is like barely 5 yards an attempt. I don't know. I mean, he's still not hitting guys in stride. You know what I mean? He's played okay. I mean, he played like a backup quarterback would play to me. You know what I mean? Like that's really all I can say at this point. I'm the stars of this one. He played about, I've got about as much. He played like a backup. I don't know what
yeah,
to
no,
say
I
other than
get,
that. He played like a
yeah,
backup.
yeah,
Against backup level talent. I mean, the rate. And to the fourth, at the start of the fourth quarter, it was a 1 point game. Literally, it was a 1 point game. Then it was a pick six to start the fourth quarter, and then he ran for a 1 yard touchdown later with like 2 minutes left in the game. Like at that point, he's playing against third string guys. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna get excited. I mean, if it's, I mean, it's obviously it's like I care because the Dallas Cowboys, and it does impact the roster but it only impacts the roster in the sense of who's gonna be the second guy? Is it gonna be Cooper Rush or is it gonna be Trey Lance? And still, in my humble opinion, then like I said, it's just my opinion. You still got to go with Cooper Rush in this situation. What do you think, Lisa Lee?
I mean, everybody's right about what they said. Like, but I think the thing for me is it appears anyway, excuse me, that he made progress. I'm not going to say it was like Ron said, it wasn't a huge leap. It wasn't you're going to compete for the starting position, but I feel like he made some progress and I feel like he was playing a little looser and maybe he's kind of getting some confidence that had been shattered the last 3.5-ish years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's
So,
fair.
you know, it is what it is. I mean, if it gives him his sea legs and makes him feel like he can maybe be a backup even, I mean, good for him, because I do feel like he's gotten, he's had horrible luck and then he's just maybe not as good as they drafted him to be. So,
Yeah, and I
you
tell
know.
you, the backup quarterback is one of the best gigs you can have in the NFL. Second string, third string, be a journeyman quarterback, man.
Yeah.
Hell,
Look at Josh Dobbs.
sign me up because I would love that damn job. But
Yeah,
you
look
could
at
you could
Josh
make it.
Dobbs.
You could 10 to 15 year career out of it. Making
yeah,
damn good
Right.
money too.
yeah. Hell, shit.
That's
Vinny
it.
Testaverde used to be a backup quarterback to somebody if the league will allow him to. Hell,
Colt McCoy made a
Josh
career out of it. Colt McCoy
Josh
retired today. He made a
Dobbs.
career out of it. Colt
Josh
McCoy,
Right.
Dobbs is on
37,
his
wasted
10th
14
team.
years as a backup.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Josh
crazy
Dobbs is
how it
on his
works.
10th team already. 10th
Yeah,
team. I
cool.
looked
Yeah.
at it. 10th team. He's got more jerseys than the Academy Sports Store. This
Mhm.
guy's
Did a Dallas
10
Cowboys
different,
jersey swap?
yeah,
Which
10
is
different teams. I mean, he's got a list of teams under him that looks like a Hall of Fame resume. It's about as long as a Hall of Famer's resume when you look him up online. I'm like, God, I didn't realize it'd been that. But hey, it's like Lisa was saying it and everybody's saying, are you looking for this guy to pose a threat at Dak? Yeah, the ones that hate Dak, they are. But
Mhm.
ultimately, what you really are looking at is, can this guy really at some point overtake Cooper Rush? Because that's what you really need in the event Dak goes down. Do we have a guy that can somehow get the ball downfield to the stars and avoid pressure? Because that's what we saw Cooper Rush could not do. He could throw when he had time, but what he didn't have is any mobility in the pocket.
See,
So
my
yeah,
argument all with the still the Trey Lance thing. I understand the viewpoint of looking at it like, well, this is for our backup quarterback. So
yeah.
my question would be, what other teams in the NFL giving up a fourth round pick for a backup quarterback that is going to be a backup quarterback?
Oh, I don't think
Guaranteed
they knew
Minnesota would. Minnesota would right now.
that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean in
true.
those terms, yes, but this is something the Cowboys did what wasn't even a need.
Yeah,
You
Fair,
know,
but I also I agree with Ron. I don't believe that they thought he was as not good as he is.
yeah,
I do think they went into it with the intention of he's going to be our security blanket if Dak gets hurt, whatever,
yeah.
or Dak walks.
mhm,
Yes, yeah,
Because otherwise, you don't give up a fourth round pick for that.
yeah,
yeah,
You can't say that. You can't possibly say that because he's got a contract next year. So I mean, like,
yeah.
who's to say Trey Lance? Like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm gonna go. I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
go
Yeah,
compete for a job with Tennessee Titans
that's
against. I mean,
right. That's
it,
also the
all
asininity of it all
yeah,
because
exactly.
his and Dak's contracts end on the same day.
Yeah,
yeah.
all three of them do. They're all in a
Yeah,
contract. So I mean,
I
The
just
don't.
only benefit you get is if Dak does decide to go and someone decides to throw some money at him and he leaves.
Oh, he's gonna go.
You're gonna definitely sign Trey Lance for a lot less than you would have had for an extending Dak. That's the only positive out of anything in this situation, that
you're still
he
going to
would
be
be
on the
lost.
hook for 40
Exactly.
million of Dak.
Yes. Yes. So
and
either way.
you're gonna
Yeah.
get you pay cheap prices. You're gonna get that performance that kind of matches
Yeah.
that price too. I mean,
Right.
I
You
Yeah.
get what you
just
pay
Definitely.
saying.
for
Exactly.
sometimes.
There you go. Well said. You get what you pay for. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you know what I get tired of about with Trey Lance in general is that, well, if you give him enough reps and he didn't have enough college reps and he didn't have no competition, that's not my fault as a damn fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not whose fault is that?
Listen, I said that last week. So I didn't say about the college reps, but I do feel like there is a part of me until I watch some more consecutive reps of his, and I'm like, okay, maybe I was wrong, and I don't like to admit I was wrong. But I did say last week, I feel like if he could get more active live reps versus,
Yeah.
2.5 games as a rookie or 3.5 games, whatever it was, as a rookie, and then just periodic preseason games, like you're never going to be able to build your confidence in, because even like the way he played the other night, like Kyle said, it was against third stringers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still going to be shook when you get into a real live game against real live starters.
That's when this whole argument makes no sense because if Cooper Rush does in fact win the second string position, how many reps is well for a whole another year is Trey Lance gonna get?
Oh,
He's
you're
gonna get maybe
100% correct.
two or three reps per practice because
Right.
Dak's gonna take 95% of those reps. Cooper Rush will get 5 or 6 reps, and Trey Lance is going to get 1 to 3 reps. That's just how it is.
Right.
I'm not making this up. That's how it is. So like,
Hmm.
we're going to be talking about him in year 5, once again, having no reps. Like, if he wants to play, and it's going to sound crazy, he needs to go play in the USFL or whatever that league is called now. That's the only way he's going to get reps. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Like,
Good point.
No, you're right.
I mean,
I
because
mean,
he's not going to get reps as a third string quarterback at
I,
all. He's
but
going to
I
be
mean,
inactive every
guys,
game.
guys that are typically drafted though in the first round, if unless it is a terrible situation that they're coming into, like a Caleb Williams, most guys are carrying a clipboard for almost 3 seasons anyway. Best case scenario, two at the less, if they're coming in behind a veteran quarterback. So, I mean, to him, I mean, those guys don't get much rep either, but they're usually watching from the sidelines, getting whatever they can in practices, practice squad or whatever. Over time, they mature, but you got to have that type of
But
coaching staff
but at the end of the day,
and the type
how
of
many
players to
times does
bring
that
it out.
actually happen? How many times does that actually work too? I
Patrick
mean, well,
Mahomes is a prime example.
I mean, that list
I
is
don't
still
know,
small for the
Jordan
guy that sat on the
Love,
bench behind
Aaron
Marshall quarterback for a couple
Rodgers.
of
I don't
years.
know.
There's not a lot of
I
them, is
think
there?
I
Tony
will say
Romo. Tony
pa-
Romo. He
Patrick
was on the bench,
Mahomes
what, 4 years?
sitting, yeah, Patrick Mahomes sitting his first year was by far the best thing that ever happened to him.
And he also had
Okay.
Andy Reid as head coach. And I'm
Yeah,
not dissing
that's
Mike
Yeah.
true.
McCarthy,
Yeah.
but Andy
Yes.
Reid has done less with more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
he's gotten the most out of his guys. I mean, I don't know. Like it doesn't work like that. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you get drafted in the first round, you're out there. It doesn't matter who you are anymore. You're out there. Like look like Zach Wilson got thrown out there. Baker Mayfield was out there. Who else? Name it. Like shit, man.
Well,
Dwayne Haskins was thrown out there.
yeah.
Bryce Young was thrown out there. They're all just out there. You know,
Well,
this
you
is his
think
fourth year
about
in the league.
They all
if
look
The
like
guy's been
garbage.
holding the clipboard, watching game film for 4 years. He ain't getting any better. It is what it is. I don't know.
yeah.
I just
Well, a
Seems
lot
like
of
the
times
guys that wait get better.
if you're
Go ahead.
drafting that high, you're in desperate dire need of a quarterback. If you're drafting in the top
Mm-hmm.
3, you need a starter. So you don't have the luxury. Like when Kansas City traded up and took Patrick Mahomes, I thought it was a mistake, and I was a big Patrick Mahomes fan in college, but I didn't, I didn't think he would be a good pro quarterback. Clearly, I was wrong on that. But
Mm-hmm.
when they traded up to get him, they didn't do it because they were in desperate need. I mean, they knew they were going to be because
Alex Smith, yeah.
yes,
He was still
he
playing at a high level.
he was playing well,
Yeah.
but they knew he was on the tail end of it.
Yeah.
So they knew they kind of had a luxury of riches. I don't even think they knew what they had. Well, clearly somebody did to trade up to get him.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's kind of the exception than the rule. Like you said, if you're drafted in the top 5 and it's 5 quarterbacks that go, it's because those teams picked them because they absolutely needed a starter.
Yeah. And
So,
see, I think that sometimes it's the catch-22, especially when you're a general manager like Jerry Jones. You see this scenario play out for another team that's favorable, and you just automatically assume that something like that, well, maybe, Trey Lance will show something. He'll sit, in the way he'll show. I mean, I just don't see that scenario happening. But, I mean, I think in terms of Jerry Jones, this is just the sole Jerry Jones thing to do in the situation,
100%.
correct?
Yeah. But Jordan Love is another example, though. Jordan Love was on the bench, 3 years? He's had
that's
3
one guy
years.
in the past 20 years you've named. One guy. I mean,
You only
Yeah.
need
he
one.
played
You
good for
only need
9
one for it to
games.
happen to. We only
He
need
Yeah.
played
one
good for
guy. We don't
9
need it to
games,
happen
and
twice.
he was never going to beat out Aaron Rodgers. He was never going to take Aaron Rodgers' job until Aaron
No.
Rodgers was off the team.
Yeah.
It's a complete scenario.
And
And
I'm
Trey
not
He
sold
Lance
can
on
is,
never beat
Jordan
out Aaron
Love.
yeah.
Rodgers.
And I'm not sold on Jordan Love still anyways. It's like you're talking about our defense that made this guy look like a god. He's not going to be throwing the ball across his body like that against every other team in the NFL. That stuff just happens to us
He
because we don't
pressed
make
the
no adjustments in
49ers the
any
very
damn
next
thing.
week.
Yeah.
Well, true.
He
Okay, so
pressed
true.
them and had them on the ropes.
I'm just not buying into any of that. I mean, it might be my bias for my strong dislike of the Green Bay Packers. It could possibly be that. But I'm not. I just can't buy that.
I
You
mean,
just need this man to go on one serious run and for the defense to bail him out a couple of times till we could reach the Super Bowl, if it could happen. I mean, I look at quarterbacks like Colin Kaepernick and these guys that had just one decent season and made it all the way because they did a little bit here and there, and the defense kind of bailed them. We just need our defense when people get in trouble, no matter who the quarterback is, Dak, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance, we just need the defense to shut people down when we get in the postseason.
Yeah. I,
Agreed.
I I never thought we would ever say Colin Kaepernick's name on this show,
and
and here we
and
are.
we and we could and now we can take that and transition into defense.
Well, no, Colin Kaepernick's problem is he's probably like a rare example of someone's skill set completely deteriorating in within a year span because he could throw the ball at once upon a time, and then for whatever happened, it's just he had zero zip on the ball. I don't know what happened to him. But that's a whole different phenomenon. But I mean, nothing on CD Lamb yet. Are you guys getting nervous?
nah.
Not at all. I mean, Emmett didn't play till what, week 3?
Yeah,
Not
well,
that I'm putting them in
it
the
took
same
two
class
L's
with
for them to
Emmett,
figure that
but
out, though, too.
we've seen people been held out going into the regular season before. Not that I'm putting them
Yeah,
on level with Emmett, but we've seen guys going. We've been in, with the team or seen the team go into the regular season without a star player for Jerry to look and realize, okay, this ain't it.
yeah, and I get that. I get that point too. God, just saying, well, even like saying like the same scenario with Emmitt Smith almost made me throw up in my mouth. I mean, I'm serious. We got to be careful about
Yeah.
these players. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's great. We got great players. But none of these players are the same damn players that we had in the
Yeah.
'90s. None of them.
But it just goes to show Jerry's been doing this for quite some years now, where he does not pay people when he should,
Well,
when it's
true.
needed, when it's necessary, until it becomes a problem where we start off slow and then he realizes, like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we need to go ahead and get this guy in here and try to, he just has to prove a point to people that we can win with whatever else.
Yeah,
Or
and
he,
that's so
I
much is
don't
that's like one of the number one things is undoing. It's just
know.
that I've never seen a person be told so many times that the correct things to do. Because you can't tell me there's people telling him. Well, there's the media he listens to the media. There's people telling this man what the hell he's messing up on. He will do the complete opposite just in spite the hope that maybe he ends up being right. Even though the percentage of that being, the percentage of him being correct is so damn low in the scenario.
I just want to know what the problem is. What what is going on? Because we seen Dez. Of course, it was the second time around when extension and things were, but the first time around, Michael Irvin, people like that, he didn't hesitate. So what is it about CD that's making him think, no, I don't know about
I
this is what I want.
guarantee you the deal is done and he is waiting for something
Wow,
to take back over the headlines.
You
wow,
really think so?
Oh,
wow,
I would bet my life savings on it.
wow.
Shit.
I
Hold on.
bet
Let me
you
look. Hold on a
it may
second. Let me
not
look.
be done, but I guarantee they're closer than they're making it out to be. Because if they think about it like this: when he said there's no urgency, that's all people talked about for a week, and then he came back right before the nice preseason game was like, "Oh, I was just kidding," like good old boy, yucks. Like, oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, it's a
And then they
shit.
talked about that for a week. Okay, if he
Yeah.
comes in now and they say CD's deal is done, they don't talk about it they don't talk about the Cowboys again until week 1.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking about,
So now
I
you
don't
got
know.
CD pulling on Spider-Man mask.
Let me
Is
go
he
ahead and
part of the
transfer some
plan too?
Cash App money into my regular account. I think I'm like, you're on, Lisa Lee. Anyways.
I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know when the actual
Well,
deal is
yeah,
done.
that's
I mean,
true.
I
That's
could
very, very
probably
true.
find out, but like, no, I don't even know if, I mean, yeah, I mean, I just don't believe that nobody's,
What
it's
would be a
just,
big story right now in the NFL in
it
preseason?
what?
I said, what would be a big story right now in preseason week 3 that we would have to then overtake that with a
If
CD?
somebody got hurt,
Got you.
somebody significant on another team,
Got you.
or
Yeah.
like if somebody major, like if Brandon Ayuk got traded
Yeah,
or
got
they
you.
got him signed to $40 million a year, then I'm gonna lose my marbles because now you're gonna have to pay CD
Wow.
basically what you would have to pay Dak. I mean, like you're waiting now. The other, not only did another leaf fall, the entire tree fell down. Like now you're in
Well,
big trouble. But yeah, that would be something that he would upstage, and because it would be the 49ers, he would definitely do it.
I don't know. Maybe it's
wow.
another Jerry Jones baby floating around. Maybe that could be reported also. We don't see. You know what? CD's land's been signed. Nothing to see here.
Let's
Right.
see here.
Just some ambiguity. That's it.
I can't. God, I can't even. I almost my head almost hurt even trying to say it because
Right.
I heard him say it like 15,000 times.
But I
Mm.
read an article this weekend that said they were just off a little bit on like the per year, and supposedly they had out 33 per, and I don't know. I mean, but the article was basically saying the obvious, like, okay, they're off on the per
It's the
year and the
guarantee.
guaranteed.
It's
Okay,
that
well,
guarantee. I
everybody's off
guarantee.
on the guaranteed. Like,
Yeah, that guarantee, I bet is the thing.
well, it could be the
Because
difference in a 4 year, 5 year. The Cowboys probably want to go
exactly.
5, and
Yeah,
of course, you
yeah,
wouldn't want to after, especially after going through this.
yeah.
Why would you want to go 5?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they tried to
How
do that with
much
Dak. They
you
tried
think
to
that
do five.
guaranteed money is going to be?
What was Justin Jefferson's? $1.20?
Something like that.
$1.19 and a half? Or $1.20? It's
Wow.
gonna be pretty close to that.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's that guarantee. I guarantee you that. That's what's holding this thing up. They've got those numbers, like Lisa's saying, but it's just where that guarantee is coming in at right now.
Just crazy.
He wants to come in, CD wants to come in high. You know, these guys, they're not, guys are not sticking around that much for 15, 18 years. Guys are like 10 years and all of a sudden they're calling it a career now. These guys are trying to make money first time around.
I was like, I understand and I get that and stuff, but we got like all this hubbubaloo going on about CeeDee Lamb, but I still look at the guy sitting there cell shocked. That's the guy. That's the last I saw CeeDee Lamb. Him sitting on the bench in the first quarter, shell shocked, like someone told him that Santa Claus wasn't alive or he just died or something. That's what it looked.
Well,
doesn't
but I'm gonna say that
that
I'm gonna
play
play
it?
devil's advocate, because if you don't have a CD, he's not even getting the opportunity to sit there in January.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I mean, yes, that's the last image we have,
Yeah,
but it sucks for us that their worst game of the season was January the 14th.
yeah,
And it wasn't close. Like, they had the worst game maybe of the last possible 5 years
yeah,
Probably so. Yeah.
on January 14th. So
Yeah.
I totally understand what you're saying, and I was livid. So,
yeah,
but at the same time, you don't get there without his damn near MVP season.
yeah. I mean, even that game, he didn't get in the end zone, but he still had 100 and some odd yards.
Yeah.
You know, led the receivers. You know, 9 catches. He was getting the ball for the most part. I mean, had a couple of drops, but I mean, they were feeding him.
Okay. Well, anything on Dak? Anybody's heard any new news on Dak? How about you, Kyle?
I mean, I haven't heard anything. It's pretty much all he says that they're still talking agent wise and whatnot, but it's the same story it's been for the past 4 months. So pretty quiet in that front.
Yeah.
I can
Isn't
tell
that
you why. I can tell you why it's quiet, but I'll let Lisa speak.
Oh no, I agree with that. Like, it's same. It's there. I would be shocked. I mean, shock, and I'll give Troy my life savings if CD and Dak will suit up either way. But like, speaking of suiting up, I gotta ask y'all: does it irritate you at all? And maybe we talked about this last week. I don't know, but does it irritate you at all that the starters don't play any snaps in the preseason?
it pisses me off?
Because like Kansas City played almost a full quarter.
Yep.
Now the Giants, that's a whole different discussion. Praise the
Yeah.
Lord that they
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
have
Their
Daniel
whole team is
Jones.
scrubs.
I,
Their whole
I think
team
it,
Yes.
is
I
is
think it sucks
preseason
I think
squad.
it sucks for the team because they're not getting enough reps in real time situation. They can claim it's real time all they want to in practice, but it's not until you're playing
Mm-mm.
like against the opposite team,
I
Mm.
feel
going
like
100 miles an hour.
you almost forfeit the first half of that first real
Yeah,
game
yeah, and
because,
I don't think it's fair to the fans neither. I mean, because
Mm.
some of the
yeah.
fans they can't afford to sit there. Me, one of them. I can't sit there and give people I'm fronting money and stuff for a regular season game. So hell, a lot of people that can't afford it, they go to the preseason game to try and see some of their
Yeah,
players or
that's
whatever.
what I used to do. I used to go to the dress rehearsal game every preseason
Yeah,
just to see those guys in action. I don't care if it was one drive, just to say, "Hey, I got to see these guys before the season got started." Now I don't know when the next time I go to a it'll definitely have to be some free tickets.
yeah. I'm not paying to
Mm-hmm.
go to no preseason game.
Now,
Well,
now
and
I
then
know them guys aren't playing.
if you do save your money up and you go to the first game and you watch crap football for a half,
Yeah,
that's
No, but
unfortunate too.
yeah, because they're going to come march up. They're going to march down there in Cleveland. Isn't that the first game of the season?
yep, in
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yep.
They're marching down Cleveland and look like they've never played football in their entire lives the first half.
Did this team win 40-0 last year in week 1? You guys are really freaking out over this. They
No,
won
they do.
40-0 in the last year, in the week 1.
Yeah,
Who
that
did
was the
they
Didn't
play,
Giants.
Kyle?
They,
Don't worry, I'll
that
wait.
game couldn't have fell any better with the
didn't they
Giants.
beat Tom Brady and Tampa Bay week 1 year too? I mean,
No, we lost
or
to Tampa.
Yeah.
but they
No, we lost to Tampa.
Help them
on a
out,
last
Lisa.
second
Help them
field goal,
out,
right?
Lisa.
On a
It
last second field goal, right? It
Help them
wasn't
out,
like
Lisa.
39-37 or something
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
we were
All
competitive, but
right.
they
So
No,
played
it's
the
like,
like
Giants last year, Kyle. Me and
It's like
you
I,
and
Okay.
Troy and Ron could have beat the Giants last year.
We
Okay, so it's
just
gonna
got
make
through
it. It's gonna,
talking
so it
about the
makes it. If
Giants.
it makes it, this will be worth it. If Cooper Beatty steps back and breaks Dak's toe, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks in a meaningless preseason game for one drive. You would rather that?
But
no.
why are other teams able to pull it off and still manage to play week one? Kansas City played
I,
damn near a quarter.
okay, and that's the
You don't
Chiefs. Okay, that's Kansas City Chiefs. What do you say? I mean,
you don't feel
some
like
teams do
Patrick
it.
Mahomes is
But
as
don't you
valuable or
think?
more valuable than Dak?
But don't you
I'm
think,
not
Kyle?
saying
It's
that. I'm
like,
not worried about Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. I'm worried about Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
but compared to other teams, though, doesn't it seem like that the Cowboys are the least always seem like they're the least prepared to anything compared to other teams going in the first
Least,
week?
I mean, least prepared. I don't know. I mean, what are we gauging on here? Like,
I'm
why?
talking about for like the last
I mean,
several
like,
seasons,
why are the
excluding a
Steelers
win over
starters
the
playing? Because
Giants.
they have no quarterback. Why is Denver starters playing? Because they don't have a quarterback deciding yet. You know what I mean? Like, I get why those guys are playing. Like, I don't know. Then why is Zeke not out there? You guys all laughing when I said Zeke should be out there. No, no, no. Zeke should be playing. Zeke should be playing. He's our running back one. Why the fuck is he not out there?
Well, no, I agree.
Does
I
any
think
one of
Zeke.
us know? Does
I
anyone
think
of us know
Zeke
what
should
Zeke has
play
this
out
year?
there.
Does
I
anyone
think
else know what Zeke is this year? Then he should be out there playing, so we get an idea, right?
because
I mean,
Zeke
Jesus
might
Christ.
Zeke might be getting cut. So
Nah, he's
He's
definitely not
not
getting
getting
cut.
cut. Mhm.
So why you not?
He's definitely
Why is he not playing in the preseason?
I
Because you guys did
agree.
not want to play him
I
last
agree with
week. You guys told
Kyle.
me,
looks like none of
oh,
the
he
starters
can't
are
play.
playing.
He can't play.
He should
Looks like
I
take
don't
none
some
of the
know.
starters are
snaps.
playing. He's a starter apparently because none of the starters are playing.
All right, well,
I just feel like
See,
we
Brandon Cook.
waste now. Last year, I get it, 40-0. That's kind of an anomaly for us,
Yes.
especially. But like, it's not typical. We typically struggle in that first week, and it just feels like that it's because we don't do anything in live, regular against a non-familiar defense. You know what I mean? It just for me it
then
feels like a waste, but I get what you're saying for sure. But
they have 3 joint practices with the Rams. I mean, this coaching administration has basically said these are our preseason games. These controlled joint practices is what we're doing with our team. That's what they
Uh,
said.
I
I
yeah,
got
mean,
to
that's
witness. I got
fair,
to
and they
witness
can do
that.
that.
I
But
got to witness the joint practice with the Rams, and Dak was wearing a red jersey where they
yeah,
were not touching him at all.
still
When
non-contact.
he
I
got
mean,
close, they were blowing the whistle.
as they
So
said to
he
me,
had
I
a
don't need
luxury.
I don't need a broken collarbone in a practice. I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
No, I
know,
get that, but I'm just saying I just wish some of these players were pushed a little bit more, just because
Yeah, I'm like, put him in the shotgun, let him throw the ball quick.
yeah, because it does seem
Anything.
like the lack of practice or whatever the hell they're doing, they look like they're a little behind the curve and stuff once the season actually starts. I mean, we also can see just like well throughout the whole season, we can see in some instances where they're just not prepared for whatever they're facing at that particular moment, which comes down to coaching and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, I mean, I get it, but I don't know. It's just I get paranoid the
you,
first game of the season. I get paranoid when they come back from that week from the bye week. I've
you
always
can see that you can see that on every team if you want to.
huh?
Leafs wants to bring up the Chiefs or Patrick Mahomes. They lost week 2 of the Colts last year. Week 2, they lost to the fucking Colts. You know what I mean?
Week
Like,
two, there is a
yeah,
difference between week two and week
in week
one.
1. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. 7 days. That's the difference. 7 days.
I don't
Four
know.
quarters. Four
I think
quarters
it's a
is the
difference.
difference.
I think it's a difference.
Jesus.
I think it's just a difference with any team losing at any time compared to the Cowboys losing. Because,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's probably more raw because that's the team that we love. And I'm like right now, I'm still pretty uninvested. So it's really, it, I don't know what to think about the team. Like I did watch more of the game on Saturday than I normally would have, but I don't know. They seem to be, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what's going to be, because Deuce Vaughn seemed to look like he was doing some things, and I'm like, it's Deuce Vaughn. Like he may not even make this team. Like I think he will, just
Yeah,
because they could use him in like kickoff and punt returns and stuff like that. But I don't
if they
know. It's
don't if
just
they don't
weird.
put them in
Preseason is
space,
weird
it
to
doesn't
me.
matter.
What?
I got to see some things just watching the game on this weekend. If there's something that I saw that gave me a little bit hope is, like you said, Deuce Vaughn. He may not see a whole lot of action this season, but what it did show me is that if anybody probably in that backfield is going to probably do good as long as they follow their blocks. So
Mm-hmm.
it was good to see Deuce come in there and pick up some yards. Rico Dowdle, when he was in there last week, he was, picking up yards. So it looks like the running game, no matter who's back there, if they do this committee approach, as long as they follow those blocks, they're going to probably pick up some yards. Now, I'm still not knowing if Zeke's going to get 1,000. I know we talked about that on the show, but I'm just saying
I
it
He's a
totally
looks
know.
like this. It
100%
He's not
looks
chance
getting
he's
a
not getting a
thousand,
it
thousand.
so
looks it
Yeah,
looks
I
it's
like
been
told
this.
Joey
four
It
Wade.
looks
seasons. Yeah.
it
The only
looks
way
like
that
this
Dak gets 1,000
backfield
is
is
because of Zeke.
from what I've seen the last couple of games. It looks like this backfield behind the line that we have. The running game looks like it's going to be okay. Now I don't know. I haven't been able to really tell with the pass blocking. It doesn't look like that is looking as proficient. But what I've seen so far is the running game looks like it's going to be okay. Special teams. With Brandon Aubrey, this dude nailed a 66-yard kick. They look like they're going
Good
to be
Lord.
okay field goal wise. And then the defense, they're making turnovers from the secondary. Not seeing a whole lot of sacks still, but the secondary is showing me that it looks like they're going to be legit again this year. So it looks like we're going to have a lot of interceptions probably. The runs game is going to be decent. The only thing we're missing is really from that quarterback position and seeing if this team can really bottle up the run. That's the two things that I probably still need to see that we're just not going to probably get that luxury at all in the
Oh,
preseason at this
I don't
point.
know. Maybe it's just me, but I think a running game needs to be better than okay. But
And it
maybe
will
that's
be
just me.
because you're not gonna have Ryan, what is whoever in the Royce Freeman in the backfield. You're gonna have whoever the two primary guys are gonna be. So to me, I think it's gonna be better. I have to say okay because it's been a different person every week. So from what I've been seeing, it's been okay. But once you get whoever, if that's Rico and Zeke, I think it's going to look better than okay behind that line when it comes to running.
Man, I don't even know if our running back's even on our team yet, and I don't know if our running back will be on our team even by week 4.
Oh, they're there. Yeah, I don't think nobody's out there that we're gonna pull in. I mean, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't see anybody out there right now. We hadn't signed him yet. I mean, what's the guy that's out there? Hunt. I mean, who are you gonna really pull in here? At some point. I mean, it'd have to take a serious injury. I don't think it's gonna be a performance thing that gets anybody pulled off a free agency.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at it like I like to think that our running game was better than okay last year. Well, I definitely think was in a better position than it is now. So that gives me reason for concern at this moment. Because we did what we did with our running game was a little bit better in my mind than what it looks like it currently is now, and we still came up very very short. So where am I supposed to be excited at right now? With just knowing that this running game is just going to be okay.
Until they establish who's going to be getting the majority cap, you really can't answer that question in the preseason. We're going to have to
Yeah.
find out once the regular season starts what's this running game, and if it looks like what I've been seeing so far with the guys that have been getting chances behind the line, the ball has been moving against. Yeah, it's been preseason defenses, but I think the running game is going to be okay. It's just not going. We're probably not just going to have that main guy that's going to be running for 1,300 yards. It's going to be probably a combined of like three guys that equal up to that amount. So I don't know.
Jesus, it's just so messy and complicated.
I think
In
it does
terms,
good because then you don't stack the box against people. You're not keen on nobody because you don't know who's going to do what at any
I mean,
point.
it makes sense and stuff, but at the
Yeah.
same time, Kyle, what do you think about this? And Lisa also. I mean, if you're gonna go with this three-headed monster, I mean, what eventually happens as far as like the money situation goes? Because if it's still ultimately you're going to end up paying some damn buddy. You have to pay one of these guys, and you end up losing half of probably what you got anyways. I
That's
mean,
not true.
I,
huh?
Go ahead.
I
Whoever,
agree with
whoever said
Ron
it.
in the sense of the running game will go as
Yeah.
far as the line blocks for them.
Yeah.
At the same time, like these three running backs we have, like they look like a team that's going to rush for like 55 to 65 yards per game with those just those names out there. You know what I mean? Like Dowdle,
Yeah.
Davis, and they just seem like those seem like 65 yards per game. You know what I mean? Like, and they need to be getting 125 yards per game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, it sounds
I
like we're
hope
doing.
behind
It sounds like we're
I
doing that shit that we did with the receivers a couple of years ago. You know,
exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the line, like I said, to Ron's point, the line should be better this year. I think. I don't know.
I, yeah. I think you're going to get that, but just going to be two guys. You're going to have one guy running for about 65 and another guy running for about 50 something.
Oh,
I
that,
think
no,
you're
no,
going
no,
to
no. See,
separate.
you're reaching there. Zeke in a 50-yard rusher, he in a 60-yard rusher. He's like a 30-yard rusher. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know.
I got really no confidence in running backs. Like, to
Yeah.
me, other than just guys. They have a room full of number 2 and number 3 running backs, basically. That's what they have. I mean, someone will be an RB1 by default. But other than
Yes, and
that,
the
I
problem,
mean,
and see, the problem is they're fine until that's fine until you get to a you need a one a number one running back situation. That's fine until you get to that point, and then when we get to that point, it's gonna still end up being the same shit. So I don't know.
I don't know. How many teams do we face, though, with a solid one, other than if you're facing the 49ers?
Well, when you're the Dallas Cowboys defense, they all look like ones. So
I mean,
you tell me.
The Eagles
I
have
mean,
one
Derrick
now.
Henry, maybe.
Eagles with Saquon. Yeah,
I
Derrick
mean,
Henry.
we've seen Saquon before. He's never really been much of a threat for us. But I mean, yeah.
Because he played in the Giants.
Yeah.
The Ravens running games a lot different than the Eagles running games a lot different than the Giants, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Well, Saquon never had an offensive line either.
That's my
no.
point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's on a team that actually has a line. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. The running back room is just lacking to me. I don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just to me, it's just in sad shape.
know.
It's like I understand it's like a three-headed mind. I get that. But if
All
we
right,
had
now
these
it's just to
problems
wait and
last
see.
year, and the running back situation seemed to be better. So now we're going from like Kyle. I agree with you, Kyle. We probably need like about 125 yards a game on the ground, some type of damn way. So now you're gonna tell me we're gonna probably get half of it under this situation? I mean, how does that help anything?
It
In
doesn't.
terms of ball control, in terms of all these little side caveats, all these side things, how is an okay running game going to help us when we
It's
already
not.
had problems last year?
It's not at all. Because you're going to get, unless you're blowing out people by 40, it's not going to
Yeah.
matter.
Jesus.
Hey, I don't know. You just gotta hope that. I hate using the word hope, but the offensive line is better. Like Terrence Steele is better this year. BB, he's a road grader. Guyton pushes people out of the mauls people, which he's done so far this
Yeah.
preseason. So
Yeah.
that is
BB
a
too. BB got
hope.
a block downfield
Exactly.
that just,
100%.
yeah, BB
I
was,
just
he got off the blocks. And I mean, he made a huge stride from last week to this.
yeah. And
Hmm.
like I said, the three-headed monster running back, two-headed monster, that's all fine and dandy when one guy's a 100-yard rusher and one guy's a 50-yard rusher. But I just like we have like a bunch of 30 to 40-yard rushers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just think like
any.
that's
I
what
think
that's what
it's
I
going to
mean.
be better.
Like I don't know.
I
I
think it's going to
mean,
be
I mean,
better.
I hope so.
at the end of the day, I think we would all be way more comfortable. We had at least a Derrick Henry, or we had at least a damn Tony Pollard still.
Of
Yeah, behind
course.
this line, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Of
You
course you
know.
would. But then the defense would stack that guy in the box. We'd be all upset going into week 8 when that guy hasn't even crossed 100 yards yet because they keep stacking the box and we're not moving the ball. So I think that's what would just had happened. We would have been in the same scenario. We'd been terribly disappointed because Derrick Henry hadn't broke over 100 yards in the week 8 and everybody's talking about it.
Well,
He's
I don't know.
washed.
Week
ah,
He's
eight,
washed.
by week 8, if you haven't figured out,
He's
and you realize that
washed.
Derrick Henry, it goes down to coaching again.
Like he's washed. We've been hearing that by the bye week that Derrick Henry was a terrible move. That
Oh yeah,
he
he would be
washed.
washed in terms for us, but he ain't. I don't know if he's washed
No,
amongst
he don't.
other
Yeah,
with other normal functioning
yeah.
teams.
Not with Lamar Jackson, he won't be because Lamar Jackson's going to have defenses keen on him. So
Yeah. So I don't know.
I
Let's
said
talk about the.
Tony Pollard barely got over 1,000 yards last year. I think with these guys combined, we're going to see about that same production. It's just not going to be one guy.
1,000 yards
If it's
though
a
is not saying
thousand
much. So
yards,
17 in
it
17 games,
wasn't,
that's
but it
nothing.
got
I
us into the
mean,
Yeah.
between
playoffs.
three people, I mean, that's setting the bar really low.
I know
I
this is
think that I think
like
the team finished like I think
that's
1,600 yards last year.
What's
like
that?
Yeah.
when you describe it, it sounds like the most energy thing I've ever heard in my damn life. Right now, I'm just like,
Long as you get in 1,000,
wee.
if you got three guys running for 100 yards in one game combined, you know, that's still like one guy, because now you got a fresh guy coming in the game versus one guy that's got 30 carries on him on the game.
Dude,
So I
that's
mean, if you
58 yards per
yeah,
game. 1,000 yards rushing for a season is 58 yards per game. I just did the math. That's not good
but
at all.
but that's
58
okay if you
yards?
got a committee. If that's just one guy
That,
that's doing that, that's terrible. But if you got a committee of guys that's running, that's a lot of wear and tear on the defense. A fresh guy coming in and picking up that many yards on you.
no, it's
Yeah.
not, dude. 1,000 yards, a
No, he
thousand
means if
yards
three
for,
of them are getting 58 each per game.
uh, well, that's not realistic. I mean,
No.
if running back one is, let's say Zeke, it's 12 yards, 12 carries, he's not getting 58 yards. The guy's going to get 50 yards and the guy gets three. That's not going to happen. It's unrealistic.
We shall see.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see, but it ain't going to happen.
I
But yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
I just wish we were in better shape as far as the running game goes. I just wish we were way better off. But let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Continuing to get some more turnovers here with the secondary. Definitely, definitely causing a level of excitement. No sacks. Or was there any sacks in this game? I can't remember.
I don't think there was
I
some
did see
pressures, but there
so.
wasn't. I don't think there were any sacks.
Well, I'm good with pressures. I know some people on the show aren't. Ron. But
I'm not either. I don't give a fuck about pressures.
I
Yeah,
know
no.
I like pressure. I still like pressures
Yeah, pressure
because
Lamar and see what happens to you.
Yeah, yeah, we had
Yeah.
zero sacks last week. Zero.
well,
So you also had no starters playing on defense,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
exactly.
Overshown
Yeah,
didn't play.
yeah,
Nealon played some plays. I mean, not the Mozzie's in all deal. He didn't play. A lot of really no one in the secondary linebackers starters
yeah,
played. So I mean,
yeah. I don't
it's
well,
see
I
any.
mean, I see they're trying to turn the roster around, picking up a few pickups here and there. Saw some levels of excitement from some fans on my Facebook page, but they're excited about people and stuff. Where they are, I guess they got 6 sacks, maybe like about 3 or 4 seasons ago, and their last season got 2 sacks. So I don't understand how that translates to a good pickup now at this moment or whatever. But what the hell do I know? I mean, I just think Cowboy fans get excited over any damn buddy that walks into the ham headquarters and stuff with a signed check saying that they're playing for the Cowboys now. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you why pressures is just one of those things that's just never really worked for me. It's good when you're playing against a bad team. But a pressure doesn't work for me when you're playing against a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that you saw eliminate you from the playoffs because you had a pressure on him, but he still got rid of the football and threw a laser downfield on you and got into field goal range and watched your team go home. So that's where I got to draw a line. Pressure is good when you're playing against a quarterback that's really not that good, can't handle a lot of pressure. But when you're playing against a veteran QB that you put pressure on him and you don't sack him and he gets a chance to get the ball off, that's when you start to run into problems.
yeah,
That's
I
why
eh,
agree.
pressure's never been for us. Because we lose games off of pressures at times. But we get close.
I have a
we get
problem, and I'm with you 100% on that too. But also, it's like one of those things where it's what we use to justify contracts when guys don't live up to contracts, like Demarcus Lawrence. Oh,
Yeah.
he only got 5 sacks for 3 seasons in a row, but
Yeah.
his pressures, oh my god, that justifies 22 mil because he got so many pressures. Yeah, but we paid him for sacks. He was a quote unquote war daddy. He would get sacks. No. Now
here's a,
we've resorted to pressures. You know what I mean?
well,
That's
here's a
how we
war
justify
daddy.
his contract. You know what I mean?
Here's,
Like it's just like it's
but he is
corny
a
to me.
but he is a war daddy. That's what Jerry Jones called him. Remember?
That's what I'm saying. I know. I know.
Yeah, he's in the trenches.
His
He gets in
stats
the
don't say
trenches.
that.
Yeah. He's in the
Well, I guess
trenches.
it depends on how you define. I mean, if I can put my hands on somebody, if I can get that one step still and have that one step to try and at least push the quarterback or bump into him or jar his ass, I would still take that happily if I couldn't get the sack over nothing. I mean, you're comparing like saying I'm going to take a pressure if I can't get any damn thing else.
I don't want to pressure against Mahomes. I want Mahomes on his back.
Well, what is that? That's all you can get is a pressure.
A
So I guess
pressure
the
for
rest of the
him is
defense,
going
I
to
guess
get
Pressure's
the
him a
not
rest,
going to
first
work
yeah, the
down.
against
rest of the
Mahomes.
defense has to participate too, huh?
Be,
And do some
being
things.
close doesn't work. Close only works in a few
Yeah.
things:
A pressure
blackjack,
on Patrick Mahomes is
horseshoes,
going to get Kansas
and
City a
throwing
first
a
down.
hand grenade. That's the only thing close works in is blackjack, horseshoes, and a hand grenade. That's the only thing I've seen close really be effective in and consistent at.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, you want to play a game of blackjack, horseshoes,
Not
tossing
really.
hand grenades. Now, then close will work.
Okay, all right, fair. So, who do we got next week from in preseason?
The Chargers.
Chargers.
Woo! Boy, that's gonna be fun. Jim Harbaugh, huh? Anybody? Anybody?
It's a
Jim Harbaugh?
preseason game.
Hey,
It's a preseason game. You're gonna have guys just trying to just make the roster at this point. So you don't
wait,
know
this is
what you're
week
gonna.
3. So is this dress rehearsal?
No, this is the final game of the preseason. This is like
Not for
week
us.
4. This is like week. This would be like week 4 in the preseason because there's no dress rehearsal. Last week was actually as close to a dress rehearsal preseason game as you're gonna get. That's why you had your Patrick Mahomes and those guys out there playing for a quarter or whatever. Yeah, that ever since they cut it down to 3 preseason games, there's really not really a dress rehearsal week anymore.
I have to tell
Well,
y'all funny. The Texans played the Giants, and my friends were there.
Mm.
And the guy that I call my brother, he called me. He was like, "I see what you mean now about Daniel Jones. As long as they have Daniel Jones, you were fine." And
Oh
I
yeah,
was
He's so
like, "Yeah."
terrible.
He said
yeah,
he is awful.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
yep. We got
yeah.
neighbors. He'll make a couple of highlights off some people jumping out of the stadium over some people, but thank goodness they got a guy that can jump super high. But I don't know if he's gonna last long once he gets undercut by a secondary guy.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is going to show his ass in about week 6. I promise you that because he was feisty at LSU. He's going to
Wow.
be real feisty. And if y'all watch Hard Knocks, that was one of their things about him. They were like, "We know you're a dog, but you're going to have to kind of." I mean, they were like telling him, "We love that
Control it.
you're a
Yeah.
dog, but you got to temper that a little bit."
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what's the I mean, we're approaching the regular season, so I guess next week what we're gonna do our predictions for the season.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
Yep. So if you guys want to join us next week for that, we're gonna be doing our predictions for the season,
Hopefully,
which
CD will be signed by then.
which they will be all about the same, probably, with all of us probably having us going to the playoffs and then losing in a horrendous fashion in the opening round, and then Jerry will say that we made it to the playoffs again, everybody, and he'll start getting that $11 billion jersey ready for next season.
It is funny that you said that, Troy, because when I was in Cali last week, I was talking with a buddy of mine there, and he's a Raiders fan. And he shared with me, and he said, there's only really one difference between us as Raiders fans and you guys as Cowboys fans. And I was like intrigued by what makes us different? And he says, well, we already know our season's over. You guys won't find out till January. I was like,
See,
he's like, we already know we're cooked. We know our situation. We don't have no hope going into the season. You guys, though, on the other hand, you guys get hyped up, and you're not going to find out until January. We already know. And I was like, wow. I couldn't really say anything. I didn't really have a comeback. I just could smile and wave, nod. I was
Because
like,
you know
wow.
he's not wrong.
He said that's the only thing that separates the two of us is they know already, and we have to wait until January.
Yep.
God, it's just so sad, isn't it? This is sad. Man,
Okay, Troy, pick us back up.
I sent you guys a clip of a show that I was on what was it, Friday night, and they were talking about, well, I don't have the right to think of anything because I'm a Cowboy fan, so my decision making skills are already jacked up, you know. and I told them, it's like, again, we've talked about it on this show. It's the worst relationship to be in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just horrible. It's just hard to get built up. I mean, especially these last couple of years, it's just been hard to get that level of excitement and just know that they're just like they possibly can't lose this game. They'll whip out another hold my beer moment. Well, here's another creative, exciting way to lose a football game, Troy. And they just do it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't. You didn't address the running back situation. CeeDee Lamb's not signed. I just don't get it. Like, what is he expecting for the fan base to do? What is I said when they got excited over those tickets getting sold out, those season ticket holders, I knew where those tickets are going. The stadium's gonna be rocking for the opposing team this season.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing
Mm-hmm.
some good ones. So that's why those tickets burn because we're playing some really good teams this year. We've got a high playoff, seeded schedule this year, and this stadium's gonna be rocking for the opponents. As long as we can keep them off the scoreboard, keep it low, we'll be okay. But if we get behind early in those games, you're gonna see what's in those stadiums this season.
See, it's just so sad.
I'll tell you who you're not going to see in the regular season.
Well, we getting ready to
Who
see Lisa Lee
again?
with us at the practice and stuff next week, right?
I know y'all were like, "Are y'all going?" Absolutely not.
What, you're not going, Lisa?
And my office is right across the street from there, so
Oh
Hmm.
no, that's messed
Okay,
up.
well, me and Ron gonna send
That is
over
messed
a
up.
party tray. We'll stop by before we head on over. All right.
yeah, y'all want to come park? I wish I could get y'all in my. I wish I could get y'all in my parking garage. Then y'all
we're,
could park there.
we're gonna come in. Like when like at the Chili's or something, they get ready to sing some happy birthday to somebody. That's how we're gonna come up to you, Lisa Lee, just
Oh, good.
clapping our hands together, like "Woo, Cowboys, go
Got your
Cowboys, woo!"
with your foam fingers.
Yes, and we're gonna just get ready to proceed to walk on over to the HQ and watch the practice.
Good. Bring Rowdy with you too. That would make me happy.
Yeah.
Oh God, Roddy, that's a whole other. Yeah, he just disappoints me every time I see him. I can't stand. It's like I got a picture of him with like my oldest son, and the oldest son is just like. I think that's the reason why. Really, has nothing to do with him not being a Cowboy fan. It has to do with taking that picture of Rowdy, just ruined his whole.
Yeah,
Like,
He's
we haven't been the
terrified.
same. We
yeah,
haven't
it's
been
like
the same.
I'll just be a Raiders fan, Dad. No thanks.
We haven't been the same since Crazy Ray. We haven't been the same.
Yep.
No, but we got a lot of impersonators of Crazy Ray on Facebook for sure, and they're just like looking ridiculous. I mean, what Crazy Ray was doing it was an art form. I don't know what these other fans are doing nowadays, but it looks ridiculous.
And it looked better because we were winning a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But now you got people sitting there
But now
posing
when you
by that
dressed
star.
up,
All
and the team's not winning, you just look like a clown.
yeah, I just don't
Hmm.
get it. I'm like, what are you posing because you're a Cowboy fan? I mean, posing next to the star looking like you're on a cover of a Too Short album. I don't get it. Just pose normal. You ain't got to do all that crotching by the star and stuff.
We just gotta win. We just gotta win. Just win, baby.
God, I just don't see it. I just don't. I mean, and it's sad. I mean, and I mean, explain to the fans again is that we are diehard Cowboy fans. We love this team. I mean, we just been, we're all making our journey back from, the travesty that happened on January 14th, which was a horrific. It was a horrific event. It might not ever be the same. you know, I mean, I don't know. But anyways, as
Hey,
always,
can I pose one question? Just
sure,
like ballroom talk. Does
sure.
Brandon Aubrey making these 60+ yarders make you nervous that this team might get super conservative in the offense wise? We're
One
just gonna
hundred percent.
we'll just settle for a field goal because automatic. It's
Yeah, it's
31.
automatic.
A 31 turns into a 4th and 1 on like a 37-yard line. Ends up being a 50-yard field goal. Let's just take the 3 points. I mean, does it make you nervous that
Yeah.
Aubrey can kick from anywhere now? It seems like that we're just going to be like, instead of
No,
going for it, we're going to. I'm
it,
kind of torn because like I like the fact that I can make having to make a crazy ass, but like at the same time, like, oh God, let's not be kicking field goals all day and losing, by 1 point because we keep on
mhm.
kicking field goals. You
See,
guys feel the same way?
it makes me nervous in the sense because if he misses that one time, even when he's trying to kick
Mm-hmm.
something that far, it could potentially break him, where he might not
Mm-hmm.
make the next two or three, and then all of a sudden we're going to be back to that. Well, we need another kicker. I could easily see it backfiring.
Yeah, I don't worry about it that much. I don't worry about that part of it, but you're exactly right, Kyle. I was thinking the same thing because, especially as giddy as Mike McCarthy got, and I know they were really
Exactly.
happy. They were real happy for Brandon. I get that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
oh Lord,
They're going to try to have
Yeah.
that man kicking from every damn where, like it's rocket
That's what I was.
jock.
Because didn't they try to go for like a 6 yarder the week before? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I
that
don't.
kick,
Even
that kick Saturday would have been good from 70,
70,
72.
72, I heard from like,
It
yeah, like,
had some.
yeah.
It hit the back of the net. Like it wasn't like it barely made it over the crossbar. Like
Yeah.
it had
I
some
just,
juice.
yeah, it's just a thought. I don't know. I
But
think
yeah,
like,
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, it
you're
doesn't.
exactly right. Because I was like,
Because
my McCarthy's way too excited about that.
yep, and and because when we need it, guess what happened? Everybody in the earth will be like, well, he just made a 66. This is
Yeah.
a 62. This should be easy.
Plus,
So,
like you're saying, if he misses, that flips the field. The team has the ball at the 45-yard line of our own. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
yep.
that's I don't know, man. Like I said, we both know the team that beat our division, the Eagles, they're going for it in 4th and 1. They have a good
Every
field goal kicker, you
time.
know what I mean? But they're not going to back down from a 4th and 1. And I don't
Nope.
want to, I just hate to be like, I hate to be settling for field goals when other teams are getting touchdowns. That's the easiest way to lose a game is to settle for field goals. You know what I mean? I just,
Yep.
back in my mind, I get a little nervous. I saw that kick go in. And like Lisa, Mike McCarthy's reaction, I'm like, oh God, please don't be
We
so
could,
excited about this.
yeah, we could easily be up 21-0 against somebody who've only done kicked 7 field goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What are you talking about? It's 21-0. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah. And whoever's got him as their fantasy kickers got 49 points because they're all from 50 plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I
Mm.
said, I like that I can rely on him, but like, man, it's making me like, it reminds me a lot of like the Dan Bailey, Jason Garrett days. They were quick to settle for field goals. You know what I mean? Like they got
Yeah.
Yep.
conservative and I love Bailey. He'd be 5 for 5 in a game, but like
Uh
at the same
huh.
time, it's like, I don't want to be losing 23-18. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Right.
it kind of puts you in a settling situation,
Yeah.
where it's like you're a lot easier to settle for things,
Yeah.
knowing someone can kick a football that far out versus just
Yeah.
saying like,
Yeah.
so it can put you in a couple of different odd spots,
Yeah.
And I think the way Mike McCarthy thinks about stuff, hell, I can see him sitting there trying to kick a 68-yard field goal first
Yeah.
first series of the damn game,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. Yeah.
just to be stupid. Because I
Well, what
still
does he
think
have to lose? His job's already not secure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I get, yeah.
Yeah, God. That's still a whole weird thing. I'm just surprised that he's back. I'm just surprised just after that game that the coaching staff was even back. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of blame to go around, obviously, but I mean, still at the top of the bar has to be your head coach and your defense coordinator. I mean, one part kind of fixed itself, I guess, but still, that's a whole lot of heavy shit to lose a football game like that. You can still be a head coach, you
hmm
know, anywhere. So, but anyways, it's always fun talking about Dallas Cowboy football with you guys. If you have questions, don't hesitate to comment. And ask general questions on general that we would love to address on the show. Do you have anything else for the people starstruck?
I think we lost him a while back.
Oh, did we?
I think I saw it. It gave a weird message on here, so I think we lost him.
Oh, well, starstruck is gone.
It's
Okay.
he's on assignment.
Yeah, he's on assignment. Must have been some breaking news he's getting ready to break. But Kyle, you got any final thoughts?
Oh, one more week. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. Hopefully, some contracts get signed. So,
Yeah.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that. How about you, Lisa Lee?
Yeah, same. Let's get some ink dry and get moving on about have a new controversy to talk about.
Oh yeah, because they're coming. I
For
yeah.
mean,
sure.
there's a drunk driving club incident. Some shit's gonna happen and stuff. So that's just the nature of the NFL. It's just I don't know how much money a man has to make to keep his ass at the damn house and just do his damn job and say I'm not doing any of this frivolous stupid shit until I retire because the money's too damn good for me not to sit up
Uh,
there and not do what the hell I'm supposed to be doing.
Or use some of the money that you earn and hire a driver. How about that?
Shit,
Absolutely.
seriously.
Or if you're Des Bryant stuff, just have a player, come pick you up and take you places anyways. Um,
The league offers a service. I think I've said that
Mm-hmm.
before. They have their own service that will shuttle
Mm-hmm.
players back and forth to their house, to the club or whatever. It's like Uber, but for NFL players, paid for
Uber?
by the league. Yeah,
Uber.
yeah,
Well, maybe they should start doing that because it seems like it happens all the damn time still. There's somebody,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you got all like these places and stuff like, I don't get it. I mean, say if I'm a player and I'm getting out of practice, I want to cut loose the boys and, I go over to the Concrete Cowboy, have a couple of drinks. If I had a little too much and can't get the Uber or whatever, I can at least walk my ass over to that W Hotel, literally right across the street. Be like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending the night,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm sure that would be no problem, but whatevs. But anyways, it's always fun, and we're just about out of time, so again, thank you for watching, or thank you for tuning into our program. As always, how about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? All right.